So I got cut off. I hope this is adding back into that video. It's probably not for those that are watching a second video, I guess. I don't know why it stopped. That was crazy. I don't have a clue as to why it did that, but we're not going back through this Texas stuff. If I get cut off again, I'm going to Facebook and doing a live stream from there. Anyways, we're about to jump into these transfers from Texas. They added a little depth at quarterback. Got Matthew Caldwell, who's only a 3-star, but depth is depth. I mean, they got Arch, and they've got another guy. I don't remember what his name is. He's still there as far as I know. Not Quinn Ewers. He's gone, obviously, but there was another quarterback other than Arch. Arch is the starter. But anyways, we got some depth with Matthew Caldwell coming in from Troy. He's a 3-star guy. Coming in from Syracuse, we got a 4-star defensive lineman, Murad Watson. We got tight end from Cal, Jack Indries. They got some depth at defensive and wide receiver positions here and there. Got a defensive lineman, 4-star guy coming in from North Carolina, Travis Shaw. He ought to be pretty reliable. I want to say they lost a lot of defensive guys to the draft, so defensive guys is going to make a big difference. We got 4-star guy coming in from Purdue. He's a defensive lineman, Cole Brevard. And then there's also a punter coming in who's only 3-star, but punting is pretty important. Being able to field the ball makes a big difference. Jack Baumeister is coming in from Utah. He's only a 3-star guy, but fielding the ball is important. So that's Texas. Hopefully I don't get cut off again. All right. Georgia's number 2 overall. 37 overall commits. They got 5 5-star, 23 4-star, and 9 3-star guys. Number 2 overall transfer was 22nd. And they've got a big deal coming in from Savannah, Georgia, defensive lineman that's a 5-star who was 3rd in the position nationally. 3rd nationally overall. He was number 1 in the position and number 1 in the state of Georgia. So Georgia landed a lot, and had I covered 3-star guys for Texas, there was also that thread of they're recruiting a lot of in-house talent, people from the state of Texas. That's a big deal. Which, I mean, being in the Bible Belt, it's a good thing to be in the Southeast or whatever. Not necessarily SEC, but being in the South, in the deep South or whatever you want to say. Georgia, Alabama, I'll say Alabama, they're Southern. Louisiana, all the way up to really Kentucky and Virginia. That isn't really deep South, but still that it's a huge guys. Kentucky and Virginia aren't going to produce talent like, let's say, even South Carolina, but being able to recruit within a 200-300 mile radius is a big deal. And a lot of these guys come from even farther out than that, but recruiting where you are based at is winning, is bringing in money from the boosters, is bringing in money from NCAA sanctions, all that. So that's a big deal. Back into Georgia, like I said, a lot of Georgia guys. We got Isaiah Gibson, who's a 5-star edge coming in from Warner Robins, Georgia, 14th nationally, number 1 in the position of edge, and number 3 in the state of Georgia. Juan Gaston is a tackle. He's a 5-star tackle, so that means he's probably classified as a 4-star based on their perception. We won't get into analytics on that. I noticed that about halfway through this stuff originally, and I'm just not crazy about – they should explain that somewhere. And maybe they do if you follow them deeply enough, but I get my information from there, but I don't follow them like that. So, like I said, this guy is a 5-star tackle based on this. Their perception probably has him as a 4, but in the offensive tackle position, he was 18th nationally, 4th in the position, and 4th in the state of Georgia. He's from Atlanta. Got a linebacker, Zayden Walker, coming in from Ellaville, Georgia. He's 22nd nationally, 1st in that linebacker position, and 5th in the state of Georgia. We got an edge coming in from Hillside, New Jersey. Darren and Kinnebon. Hillside, New Jersey, 4-star prospect, 36th nationally, 7th in the position of the edge position, and 3rd in the state of New Jersey. We got Taylon Taylor coming in from Geneva, Illinois, who's a 4-star wide receiver. He's 40 nationally, 6th in the position, 2nd in the state of Illinois. Even if you get to Illinois, there isn't a heck of a lot of talent coming from Illinois to Illinois. It's hit and miss with some of those northern states, unless you're talking Michigan or Ohio State, Ohio's, Michigan's, that type of stuff. Illinois ain't really a deep talent pool. They have some good talent. And it's produced sometimes every year, more or less, it's every 3 to 4 years. 3 to 5 years, something like that. That gives these guys time to develop in high school, and sometimes they're already developed. But anyways, back to it. We got another edge coming in from Atlanta, Georgia, Chase Linton, 4-star, 44th nationally, 4th in the position of edge, and he's 7th in the state of Georgia. We got Elias Williams, who's a 4-star tight end, coming in, 49th nationally, 4th in the position, 8 in the state. Todd Robinson is a 4-star safety who's coming in and was ranked 123rd nationally, 4th in the position, and 14th in the state of Georgia, from Valdosta, Georgia. We got C.J. Wiley, wide receiver, coming in from Alpharetta, Georgia. 139th nationally, 17th in the position, 17th in the state of Georgia. Another Warner Robins guy that's Warner Robins, Georgia. He's coming in. He's a 4-star safety. Rayshawn, oh my goodness, Rayshawn Dinkins, 165th nationally, 14th in the position, 22nd in the state of GA. From Findlay, Ohio, we have quarterback Ryan Montgomery. Gunnar Stockton is their starter. Not sure who they have behind him. They did have the other South Carolina guy behind him. I guess he's still there. I say that because Gunnar Stockton spent a season with us at South Carolina. Maybe he flipped last minute after already basically being on campus. Regardless, you want to go where your talent's recognized. I can respect that. But anyways, Ryan Montgomery's adding some depth from the state of Ohio, 180th nationally, 14th in position, and 5th in the state of Ohio. Jonte Gilbert is a cornerback coming in from Atlanta, 186th nationally, 17th in the position, 26th in the state of GA. 4-star Cortez Smith is from Lilburn, Georgia, interior offensive lineman. I've never understood what that meant. I never played football. I don't understand some of this. I know it means interior offensive lineman. As to what that means, I'm not sure. If it gives him some kind of edge over the player next to him or whatever, or maybe he's closer to the center. I don't know. Anyways, got a 4-star guy, Cortez Smith from Lilburn, Georgia, interior offensive lineman, 168th nationally, 11th in the position, 27th in the state. Landon Rolden is a wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver from Bogart, Georgia. He was 34th in the position and 36th in the state. Ethan Barber, Alpharetta, Georgia, tight end, 4-star, 14th in position, 37th in Georgia. Marietta, Georgia, A.J. Cruh, I don't know. Linebacker, 26th position, 40th in the state. From Rock Valve, Tennessee, we got 4-star safety Jalen Morgan. He's 29th in the position and 10th in the state of Tennessee. Dominic Kelly's a 4-star cornerback coming in, 38th in the position, 39th in the state of Florida. We got Dennis, something with a U. I'm not going to slaughter the man's name. Anyways, he's a 4-star tackle coming in from Suwanee, Georgia. 33rd position, 55th in the state. Let's see. Somebody's got wide receiver, offensive lineman, running back, DL, quarterback. That's the rest of their 3-star guys. Little depth offensively, not that they necessarily needed it. With their transfers, I am going to cover some of these 3-star guys. They lost a couple guys to the draft at running back, so bringing in a 3-star guy from Illinois is a big deal. Josh McCray. We got an offensive lineman coming in from Central Florida. He's only a 3-star, but I mean, you got a brand new quarterback. He has had play time, but it's good to have some depth out in front of him for those big boys up front that can protect him, even though he's pretty bad. Gunnar Stockton can pretty much make plays, but having some depth at the offensive line position is a big deal. So Walt Claire Flynn Jr. is coming in from UCF. We got an Army guy coming in, 4-star edge, Elo Medoze. I can't remember how it's pronounced. I've heard the name. And for those that watch a lot of football, y'all probably have too. 3-star guy from Vanderbilt, Micah Bell, wide receiver. Got a 4-star A&M player, wide receiver, Noah Thomas coming in. That's going to be a big deal. Zion Branch, he was only a 3-star, but he was a big deal fresh out of high school because he was a 4-star out of high school. But they get a little playing time or they sit on the bench and don't get playing time and their stock goes down. Zion and his sibling Zachariah are both coming in. Zion is a safety. Zachariah is a wide receiver. They were both at USC. Zachariah is 4-star wide receiver. Zion is a 3-star safety who was rated 4 out of high school. The next one is the Oregon Ducks with 30 overall commits, 4 5-stars, 22 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. They were 5th in the transfer portal, so there's going to be a lot there. First of all, from high school, we got 18 guys coming from high school, and out of those, there's 2 5-star guys, a wide receiver, and a cornerback. The wide receiver, DeCorion Moore from Duncanville, Texas, is a 5-star. Like I said, he was 9th nationally, number 1 in the position, and 5th in the state of Texas. Naeem Alford is a 5-star cornerback coming in from Birmingham, Alabama. 17th nationally, 3rd in the position, number 1 in the state of Bama. Got a 4-star cornerback coming in, Brandon Finney Jr., McDonough High School in Owings Mills, Maryland. And he was 47th nationally, 8th in the position, number 1 in the state of Maryland. We got a safety, Trey McNutt, coming in from Cleveland, Ohio, 73rd nationally, 4th position, 4th in the state of Ohio. Dorian Brew is a 4-star cornerback coming from Conroe, Texas, 98th nationally, 12th in the position, 22nd in the state of Texas. Zaire Addison is an offensive lineman, 4-star offensive lineman coming from Tampa, Florida. Nationally, he was 102, 15th in the interior offensive lineman position, and 14th in the state of Florida. Tackle, another 4-star tackle, Zach Staskowski. That's about as close as I'm going to get. From Portland, Oregon, 154th nationally, 18th position, first in the state of Oregon. We got Douglas Utu, or Atu, something. It's UTU. Simple enough. Las Vegas, Nevada, 4-star offensive tackle, 161st nationally, 9th in the position, and 3rd in the state of Nevada. Akil Smith Jr. is a 4-star cornerback quarter he throws. San Diego, California, 201st nationally, 15th position, 17th in the state of Cali. Nasir Wyatt is a 4-star linebacker coming in from Santa Ana, 202nd nationally, 18th position, 18th in the state of California. From De La Salle in Concord, California, we got edge Matthew Johnson, 4-star edge, 212th nationally, 23rd position, 20th in the state of California. Next, we got a 4-star edge coming in from Houston, Texas, Toby Hastrup. 2 A's, I'm not sure. I would think that it's not enunciated out very long, but who knows? Anyways, he's a 4-star edge, 223rd nationally, 24th in the position, 33rd in the state of Texas. Got Gavin Nix from Bradenton, Florida, who is a 4-star linebacker, 226th nationally, 20th in the position, and 25th in the state of Florida. Dair Hill Jr. is a 4-star running back. At this point, I'm not going to cover national no more because that'll take a little time off. So nationally is overall, we're not even going to worry about that. If they're 4- and 5-star guys, they were obviously either rated pretty high, pretty low, whatever. You got 134, now 136 teams in Division I. Delaware and Missouri State moved up this year. For y'all that don't know, it's new to me too. But we're going to stop doing this national crap, and it's not crap, but we're going to stop covering the national stuff. It'll save a little time. Because I don't think it's important, honestly. If you hear that they're ranked really low, the low number means they're ranked high in position and state. That's already a big deal, depending on where they're at. So, Dair Hill Jr. is a 4-star running back from Bellevue, Illinois, 13th in the running back position and 6th in the state of Florida. Vander Plug is a 4-star tight end, 13th in the position, 22nd in the state of California from Fullerton, California. Tackle Dimitri Manning from Bellevue, Washington, 16th in the position, 2nd in the state of Washington. Jordan Davison is from Santa Ana, California. He's 20th in that running back position and 29th in the state of California. At this point, I'm going to cover this one 3-star guy. Cooper Perry is a wide receiver from Scottsdale, Arizona, 44th in the position, 4th in the state of Arizona. That's a pretty big deal. Coming in, they got a 3-star punter from Boise State, James Ferguson Reynolds. Couple of this and that. Interior offensive lineman from USC is Emmanuel Pregnon. I know I slaughtered that name. I've heard it before, and he's a pretty big deal. From one Big Ten team to the next, that'll be a pretty good game for them. Got running back coming in from Tulane, Mekhi Hughes, 4-star guy. 4-star wide receiver from Florida State, Malik Benson. 4-star defensive lineman from USC, Bear Alexander. 5-star guy from Nevada, Isaiah World. Got Jamari Johnson, who is a tight end coming in from Louisville. Another tackle. This one's from Texas State, Alex Harkey. And then a couple more 3-star guys in defensive positions. We're not going to worry about covering them. Let's move on to number 4 is Alabama. 33 commits overall, 3 5-star, 24-star, and 10 3-star. 4th overall, 21st in the portal. Coming from high school, this was a big deal. People fought over him. Got Keelan Russell, who is a 5-star quarterback coming in. And I will say he was the number 2 guy in the nation at the quarterback position. Well, overall, number 2 in the position of quarterback and number 1 in the state of Texas from Duncanville. So Ty Simpson has definitely got some reliable backups just with the one guy. I'm not sure where they're at with depth past him. I know there was another 3rd guy there behind Jalen and behind Ty Simpson. I'm assuming he's still there. I don't know for sure. But anyways, this will give a 2nd or 3rd guy behind Ty Simpson. So that'll be a big deal. From IMG Academy, we got, it says 5-star, but they probably actually classify him as a 4 because he's a lineman. Michael Carroll, 12th nationally, 1st in the position, and 1st in the state of Florida, Bradenton. I know I said I wouldn't cover national, but from now on, if it's big numbers, we're just going to stay in like 20s and 30s at the max, and that's what we're doing. So we got a 5-star cornerback coming in from Mission Viejo, California. Dijon. I don't have a clue, but Lee Jr. I'm going to say Dijon Lee Jr. 15th nationally, 2nd position, 1st in the state of California. We got a 4-star safety coming in from high school, Ivan Taylor from Winter Garden, Florida, who is 2nd in the position and 5th in the state of Florida. Chuck McDonald III is a cornerback from Santa Ana, 7th in the position, 4th in the state of California. Jackson Lloyd is a tackle coming from Carmel, California, 12th in the position, 5th in the state. Derek Meadows, wide receiver, 10th position, 1st in the state, coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada. Justin Hill, 4-star edge from Cincinnati, Ohio, 6th in the position, 2nd in the state of Ohio. AK Deer is a 4-star running back from Quitman, Mississippi, 2nd in the position and 4th in the state of Mississippi. Got 4-star tight end Caleb Edwards from El Dorado Hills, California, who was ranked 8th in his position and 12th in the state of Cali. Duke Johnson III is a 4-star linebacker from Eastman, Georgia, 13th in the position and 21st in the state. Tight end Marshall Pritchett, Raven Gap, Georgia, 17th in the position, 39th in that 17th in the tight end position, 39th in the state of Georgia. 4-star tackle could be Mal or Maul Waldrop Jr. Like I said, 4-star tackle from Phoenix City, Alabama. Had no clue that was a place till now. 37th in the tackle position, 18th in the state of Bama. Micah DeBose. Okay, well, he's a 3-star guy, but I've already started it. So, tackle coming in from Theodore, Alabama. 28th position, 19th in the state. And We're not covering these 3-star guys. Let's see. So in the transfer portal, they had 12 transfers come in, most of which look to be 3-star guys. But we do got Nakai Hill-Green from Colorado, who's a 4-star linebacker, he was already a 4-star out of high school, and now he's an even higher ranked 4-star. So that's going to be good for Alabama at the linebacker position. Isaiah Horton, if I'm not mistaken, was a leading target for Miami last year. He's coming in as a wide receiver, obviously. Some depth. Cam Calhoun is a cornerback coming in, adding depth to the defensive room from Utah. Kelby Collins is a 4-star defensive lineman from Florida. Ohio State, 37 commits, 5 3-star, 23 4-star, and 9 3-star. 26 from high school. Out of those, we got Tavian St. Clair from Bellefontaine, Ohio. 5-star quarterback, 4th nationally, 3rd in the position, 1st in the state. Cornerback with a C, Devin Sanchez from Houston, Texas. It's going to take a lot of time. From Houston, Texas, cornerback, 5-star cornerback, Devin Sanchez, 5th nationally, 1st in position, 2nd in the state of Texas. 5-star receiver, Quincy Portal from New Jersey, 4th in the position, 2nd in the state of New Jersey. 4-star tackle from Toledo, Ohio, 14th in the position, 3rd in Ohio. Fahim Delane, 4-star safety from Olney, Maryland, 8th in the position, 3rd in the state. Riley Pettijohn is a 4-star linebacker from McKinney, Texas, 6th in the position, 23rd in the state. Zion Grady, 4-star edge from Enterprise, Alabama, is 13th in his position, 6th in the state of Georgia. Anthony Rogers, Montgomery, Alabama, running back, 4-star, 4th in the position, 8th in Alabama. 4-star edge. Epi Santinelli, I murdered that. He looks to be of Hawaiian descent. I definitely murdered that. But anyways, it's a 4-star edge coming in from Bellflower, California, 14th in the position of the edge and 8th in the state of Cali. Bo Jackson. No, he didn't return. They just so happened to. I'm sure he was named after him. 4-star running back from Cleveland, Ohio, 11th in the position, 6th in Ohio. Bob Payne Miller is a 4-star wide receiver from Ohio as well. 15th in his position, 9th in the state. Tarvis Alford is a 4-star linebacker from Vero Beach, Florida, 31st in the position, 32nd in Florida. Nate Roberts, 4-star tight end, Washington, Oklahoma, 18th in the position, 5th in the state of Oklahoma. Defensive lineman Maxwell Roy, this is going to take a long time. Once we get through these top people, though, it should be a lot quicker. Like I said, we'll see where we're at on time. I know it's entirely too much. That's why I wanted to do a podcast. So, for all the viewers I don't have right now, I'm about to swig some Red Bull and continue on with Maxwell Roy, who I'm about to get to. This is a lot. But it should have been done months ago, and now it's being done. So, 4-star lineman, defensive lineman from Philadelphia, PA, Maxwell Roy, 33rd in the position, 9th in the state of Philly. Desi Jones or Desi Jones, it's got an apostrophe, so I don't know. I would say Desi Jones is a 4-star wide receiver from Wayne, New Jersey, 41st in the position, 8th in the state. Another 4-star wide receiver from Mission Viejo, California, Philip Bell, 42nd in that position, 31st in the state of Cali. There's quite a few defensive guys. All right, so we're on Ohio State. Why? Okay, so I guess Julian Sayin was already there because that's their guy. So he'll be starting in another week for Ohio State, Julian Sayin. They did bring in a quarterback from UConn, Eli Brickhandler. Sound like he should play basketball, Brickhandler, but he didn't pick his name, and I'm sorry to pick fun. I ought to be a little more grown. But some names you just can't pass up. He should be handling bricks and taking it to people on the court. Anyways, a little depth at the quarterback position. 4-star edge Bo Atkinson's coming in from North Carolina to Ohio State. 4-star tackle from Rice, Ethan Onewaya. I went over this for about 30 minutes saying his name the other night, and I just slaughtered it. So it is what it is. Max Clare, they've already said, is going to be a big part of their offense. He's on a watch list or two for this season. He's coming in from Purdue. It's a tight end. CJ Donaldson, I want to say I also seen something about him on a watch list this season, also for Ohio State. He's coming in from West Virginia. Number 6 overall team is Auburn with 45 total. That includes a 4-star, 23. That includes a 5-star. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to die. Give me a minute. Been long enough, ain't it? 6 teams in an hour. That's not looking good. But hey, when you procrastinate, you're going to get hate. So, like I said, number 6 overall, Auburn, with 45 commits, a 5-star, 23 4-star, and 23-star. This 45 is including the transfer portal. Again, overall, they were 6th, 8th in the portal, had 26 from high school. 5-star defensive lineman, Malik Autry. I'm just going to rush through this. I apologize. Y'all can look this stuff up on 24/7 the same way I can. So with this one, I'm just going to go through. 5-star defensive lineman Malik Autry, who was a big name for them. And I'm not just saying that because he's 5-star. I mean, there was talks about him all over. If you listen to podcasts on college football, you heard about it. 4-star quarterback Deuce Knight from Mississippi, who was 2nd in the state of Mississippi. 4-star edge, Jared Smith. A safety, Anquan Figgins from Alabaster, Alabama. Linebacker, who's a 4-star linebacker from Alabama. J.J. Falk, 5th in the state of Alabama, 8th in the position. Defensive lineman, Jordan Crawford. A safety, Eric Winters from Alabama. This is a lot of Alabama's. Donovan Starr is a 4-star cornerback from Brentwood, Tennessee, number 1 in the state of Tennessee. Cornerback, 4-star Blake Woodby from Baltimore, Maryland, 6th in the state of Maryland. Antonio Coleman, 4-star defensive lineman from Saraland, Alabama, 11th in the state. Duke Smith is a 4-star wide receiver from Selma, Alabama, 12th in the state of Alabama. Hollis Davidson III is a 4-star tight end from Peachtree City, Georgia, 12th in the tight end position, 31st in the state of Georgia. Darian Smith, 4-star defensive lineman from Baltimore, Maryland, 10th in the state of Maryland. Alvin Henderson is a 4-star running back coming in from Elba, Alabama. This is Auburn. That's a big deal for them to be recruiting in Alabama and for Alabama to not be taking all the talent. So 4-star running back from Elba, Alvin Henderson. We got another guy from Baltimore who's a 4-star linebacker, Bryce Dees. A 4-star tackle from Bixby, Oklahoma, Broderick Shell. And then you have your 3-star guys that are adding some depth. They're stars too, or can be. So, linebacker, wide receiver, cornerback, tight end, offensive lineman, running back, offensive lineman. Auburn bulked up just in their high school recruiting. They bulked up their offense, a big deal, and that's good because their guy let no. They had a transfer start for him last year at quarterback. I'm not sure if he's still there, but what they did have is, I'm not even going to get into these. I got it right here on the page. Their transfers include from Georgia Tech, 4-star wide receiver Eric Singleton Jr., who was a stud last year at Tech. 4-star wide receiver Horatio Fields from Wake. 4-star tackle Xavier Chaplin from Virginia Tech. Got 4-star tackle Mason Murphy from USC. 4-star cornerback who has made impressive strides since coming out of high school as a 2-star. Rayon Strader from Maryland. Okay. Here was the big question. Their quarterback is going to be Jackson Arnold, the 4-star guy from Oklahoma. But they also picked up a 3-star quarterback from Stanford, and his name rings a few bells, Ashton Daniels. He's pretty good too. He was a 4 or 5-star guy coming out of high school. They also, just a notable one, this guy's from LSU. He was a 4-star coming out of high school. His stocks went down a little bit. He's a 3-star rated now. But Xavier Atkins from LSU could potentially be a star for them. Next up on the list is LSU, who had 41 total, 23 from high school. They had 2 5-stars, 18 4-stars, and 7 3-stars. And so coming from high school, we got cornerback DJ Pickett from Zephyril's, Florida. 5-star cornerback, 5th in the position, 2nd in the state of Florida. Their other 5-star guy must be either a guy that is a 4-star and their composite has him ranked a little higher even though it doesn't say it, or he's a transfer. So we're looking for a second 5-star guy in the transfer portal. I don't see one. So apparently somebody's composite, based on their composite, is a little higher as a 4-star. Hard to say who. Although if you're looking at the portal, the higher the number coming from the portal, closer to 1, because it's point whatever, closer to 1, it usually signifies better. I would probably say AJ Halsey from Houston is that potential 5-star guy. They were number 1 in the portal, by the way. So 4-star guy from high school, running back Harlem Berry from Metairie, Louisiana. I definitely slaughtered that. Number 1 in the position, number 1 in the state of LA, Louisiana. Offensive lineman Solomon Thomas is from Jacksonville, Florida, number 2 in the position, 7 in the state. 4-star linebacker Charles Ross II is from Houston, Texas, 2nd in the position, 13th in the state. Carius Kern is a tackle, 4-star tackle from Marion, Arkansas, 3rd in the position, number 1 guy in the state. 4-star running back JT Lindsay, Alexandria, Louisiana, 7th in the position, 4th in the state of Louisiana. Linebacker Jaden Breaker is a 4-star linebacker from Snellville, Georgia, 12th in position, 20th in the state. Aiden Anding, 4-star cornerback from. Oh, this is a huge deal. This is LSU, and they have a lot of in-house guys. So being able to pick talent up in your own backyard is awesome. Aiden Anding is a 4-star cornerback from Houston, LA. 19th in position, 5th in the state. From Baton Rouge, we got 4-star cornerback Jacob Bradford, 16th in position, 6th in the state. New Orleans wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver Teron Franz, 20th in the position, 7th in the state. And now we have a guy from Laurel, Mississippi, who is an interior offensive lineman, 4-star Tyler Miller, 8th in the state of Mississippi. Philip Wright III is a 4-star wide receiver going back to Louisiana again from Destrehan. I know that's not how you say it. The Cajun dialect down there is strong. So some of these that look like they probably aren't enunciated that way probably aren't, or pronounced that way. I don't know how to use those terms either. He was 10th in the state of Louisiana. From Watkinville, Georgia, we got 4-star linebacker Zach Weeks. 4-star edge from Indiana, Damian Shanklin, 6th in the state of Indiana. 4-star linebacker Keelan Moses, coming in from Baton Rouge. Jace Thomas is a 4-star safety coming from Louisiana, Destrehan or whatever it is. I know I'm not pronunciating it right. Somebody correct me on that, either pronunciate or enunciate. That's 2 different things. I need to get a little bit better book smart. But it is what it is. All right, safety, 4-star safety from Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, CJ Jim Corley. It sounds like 2 last names. I'm probably not saying his name right. He was 11th in the state of Tennessee. Then they've got tight end LaFleur, who is a 3-star, but depth. Bunch of defensive guys, some more offensive guys, and that's the end of the list for the signees to the portal. Like I said, AJ Halsey, that's probably 92, 94, 95. Oh, that's probably him. That's also 95. It's hard to say. They got 2 guys rated 9,500, so, or at least 2. Wide receiver Nick Anderson from Oklahoma. And 4-star edge from Florida State, Patrick Payton. Also a 4-star edge from Virginia Tech, Braylon Moore. Lineman from Northwestern, Josh Thompson. Marcus Cooley from North Carolina State is a safety. Bernard Gooden is a defensive lineman from South Florida. Nick Anderson. That's wild. That's probably because we heard his name last year. Another cornerback from Virginia Tech, Mansour Delane. We got an edge from Florida, Jack Pyburn. And from Mississippi State, who was somewhere else prior to Mississippi State, but I know he had some playtime. Michael Van Buren came into LSU, so there's some depth behind Nussmeier. From Kentucky, we got a wide receiver, Barrion Brown. Nebraska, there's an edge from Nebraska to LSU, 4-star edge, Jamari Butler. From Florida, cornerback, Jakeem Jackson, who, if I'm not mistaken, played last year and was a star. Number 8 is Michigan, 41 commits total, 2 5-stars, 18 4-stars, 19 3-stars. Number 3 in the portal, their guy, starting guy at quarterback, is going to be Bryce Underwood. You should know his name, 5-star guy, number 1 overall guy in the state, in the national position, everything. He's just number 1 guy overall. Bryce Underwood, half the country wanted him. 5-star offensive tackle. Like I said, he's probably actually a composite 4-star, but Andrew not Rocky Balboa. Andrew, couldn't tell you. Anyways, he's coming in from Kansas, number 1 in the state of Kansas. Offensive tackle Ty Haywood, Denton, Texas, 12th in the state. Shamari Earls, 4-star cornerback coming in from Virginia, number 1 in the state of Virginia. Wide receiver Andrew Marsh from Texas, 20th in the state. Defensive lineman from Illinois, number 4 in the state, Nate Marshall. Safety from Belleville, Michigan, 2nd in the state is Elijah Dotson. 4-star cornerback Jaden Sanders from Kilgore, Texas, 17th in that cornerback position, 26th in the state. Kanoa Winston is a 4-star safety from D.C., from Washington, D.C., number 1 in the state of Washington, D.C., or in D.C. As far as I know, the District of Columbia is only Washington. I've never heard tell of it otherwise, so I don't know. He was also number 10 in the position of safety. Another 4-star linebacker, Nathaniel Owasu Boateng. Killed that name. 4-star tackle, Avery Gotch, was 5th in the state of Michigan. Safety from Monroe, North Carolina, 10th in the state, Jordan Young. And then some more depth, DL, wide receiver, edge, DL, linebacker, wide receiver, offensive lineman, running back, tight end, DL, running back. This is a pretty significant name. This is what? Michigan. He's playing at his dad's rival school, Chase Herbstreit. Got signed to Michigan, chose to enroll at Michigan. That is Kirk's one of 3, 4, 5. I'm not even sure. I think it's 5 if you include the dog. But Chase Herbstreit, quarterback coming in from Ohio, obviously. If you know, Kirk played at Ohio State. With their transfers, they added a little depth behind Bryce Underwood. Jake Garcia is coming in from East Carolina. Then there's quite a few three-star guys on here. We got a defensive lineman from Clemson, Trey Williams. Justice Haynes from Alabama, who was a stud last year. TJ Metcalf, who is the little brother of DJ Metcalf, is a safety coming in from Arkansas. Another quarterback, Mikey Keene, who was a star at Fresno State. I mean, you get what you can get out there. There's so much talent in Cali. It is what it is. I think he's a fifth-year guy. But adding depth behind a freshman quarterback is going to be a huge deal. Another defensive lineman from Alabama, Damon Payne. We also have the brother of TJ Metcalf, and that is Tevis Metcalf coming in from Arkansas. They played together. Like I said, that's DK Metcalf's not brother. That's his cousins, if I'm not mistaken. And then an offensive lineman from Cal Poly, Brady Norton, wide receiver from Indiana, Donovan McCulley. Already back about at an hour again. Number 9 was Florida. They totaled 35. They signed 27 from high school. They had a 5-star. They have a 5-star, supposedly. And they have 17 4-stars. 12 of them came from high school. And then they have 15 3-stars that came in. A little bit of both from high school, from the portal. 78th in the portal, 9th overall was Florida. We got 4-star wide receiver Vernell Brown III coming in from the state of Florida. Number 5 at the position, 3rd in the state. 4-star cornerback Ben Hanks III from Booker T. Washington in Miami, Florida. 6th in position, 4th in the state. 4-star wide receiver Dallas Wilson from Tampa, 6th in the state, 8th in the position. From Shawnee, Kansas, got 4-star edge. Jaden Woods was 4th in the state of Kansas and 10th in that edge position. We got a 4-star safety from Jacksonville, Drake Stubbs, 6th in the position, 13th in Florida. 4-star offensive tackle, TJ Dice Jr. from Fairburn, Georgia. Lagonza Hayward is a 4-star safety coming in from Lyons, Georgia. 4-star edge, Jalen Wiggins from Tallahassee, Florida. 20th in position, 20th in the state. From Loganville, Georgia, we got 4-star defensive lineman Joseph Bachu or Mbachu. I don't know. M could be silent, might not. I don't know. 4-star defensive lineman Joseph. 4-star linebacker from, oh my goodness. I know how to say this. It's Loxahatchee. There's a big in there somewhere, I feel like. I've heard it said several times. Anyways, 4-star linebacker Ty Jackson from Florida. 4-star running back from Florida, Tampa, Duke Clark. 4-star cornerback, Javari Flowers. It's from Miami, Florida. Then they got DJ Lagway as their starting quarterback, but they brought in a 3-star guy from high school, Trammell Jones Jr. from Jacksonville, Florida. Them Florida quarterbacks, they usually turn out to be pretty reliable. So having a little depth behind Lagway is going to be good. He already has some depth, but a little extra doesn't hurt. And then they had 8 transfers come in. Another quarterback to back up Lagway, Harrison Bailey, who Florida is now his fourth school since being in college. He played Louisville last year. The year before that, he was at UNLV, and before that, he was at Tennessee. And I think he actually played at UNLV for 2 years. So, really experienced guy. If Lagway goes down, Harrison Bailey's probably going to be the option. They added a little depth at fielding the ball. Tommy Duman is coming in from Michigan, and a receiver for whoever to throw to, Lagway or Bailey or the other guy. We got J. Michael Sturdivant from UCLA. Number 10 is Texas A&M with 39 total, 25 guys from high school. They have their composite says 1. I wrote down 2, meaning there's probably a lineman on there. Like I said, offensive linemen don't get no clout or whatever, or they catch clout. I don't know. They catch clout, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what goes into ranking them lower or whatever, but when there's a 5-star offensive lineman, I noticed that as a trend. When there's a 5-star offensive lineman, it'll say 2 or 3 5-star guys, and then if you factor in that lineman, that makes up for it. It equals the difference. I'm just going to put it that way. Like, it says 2, but there's really 1, or it says 1, but there's really 2, is what I meant to say. I don't know. I don't know what goes into that. Anyways, their composite is they don't rank offensive linemen 5-star apparently. So they have 1. Like I said, I wrote down 2 5-stars. They got 26 4-stars coming in and 12 3-stars. Like I said, 39 total, 25 from high school. They were 11th in the portal. Like I said, 5-star offensive tackle from Mesquite, Texas. So apparently he's composited as a 4-star. He was 7th in his position and 9th in the state of Texas. This 4-star offensive tackle. We got another 5-star guy, wide receiver, Jerome Miles from Draper, Utah. 28th nationally, 3rd in position, 1st in the state of Utah. Then we've got a 4-star tight end, Coyote. Armstrong is coming in from Jasper, Texas. They're recruiting in their backyard. 11th in the state. Defensive lineman Chase Sims is coming in from Richmond, Texas. 14th in the state, 8th in the position. 4-star defensive lineman DJ Sanders from Bellevue, Texas. 10th in the position, that DL position, and 15th in the state of Texas. Rashad Johnson Jr. is a 4-star safety from Bushnell, Florida. 12th in the state. Got 4-star cornerback Jamar Bill Goins. Jamar Bill Goins. I'm going to say it fast and act like that's what it is. Number 1 guy in the state of Arizona. Kelshawn Johnson is a 4-star wide receiver coming in from Hitchcock, Texas. 4-star cornerback Adonis Curry, 9th in the state of California. Noah McHale is a 4-star linebacker from Laverne, California. 9th in his position at linebacker and 10th in the state of Cali. Then we got another lineman from Texas, Nelson McGuire. He's 8th in that offensive lineman position, interior offensive lineman position. 4-star edge from Danville, California, Marco Jones. 4-star cornerback from Texas, Pearland, Texas, Colby Sellers. 4-star cornerback from Katy, Texas, Dejon Petaway. 4-star tackle from Cypress, Texas, John Tay Newman. I have cracks all over my phone, so that's why it takes me a minute on these names. That and not knowing how to pronounce. 4-star wide receiver from Montgomery, Alabama, TK Norman, who was 17th in the state of Alabama. And they've got a lot of offensive position 3-star guys. Some big names. Man, I've heard every one of these names that are on this list pretty much. Tight end Amari Niblack is coming in. I definitely didn't say it right. It's Niblack. It's Niblack. Amari Niblack from Texas is coming in. He's a tight end. Jonah Wilson from Houston's coming in, wide receiver. Jordan Shaw is a cornerback from Washington. Got a 4-star defensive lineman who upgraded from a 3-star out of high school and now is a 4 from Iowa State. It's Tyler Onyedin. I apologize, sir. Another guy that was okay. Unless there's 2 of them. This name I know from Miami, unless there's 2 guys with this last name. Casey Concepcion. I'm pretty sure I remember hearing at Miami and not at North Carolina State. He's going to be a huge deal for A&M. A&M, of course, has Marcel Reed as their quarterback. They already have their starter, so it's good to have depth. They did get some 3-star recruits at that quarterback position out of high school, but I didn't cover them. TJ Searcy is a 4-star edge coming in from Florida. We got another 4-star wide receiver, Mario Craver, coming in from Mississippi State. A 4-star wide receiver from Texas Tech, Michael Hudson. Cornerback Julian Humphreys coming in from Georgia. Tight end Michael Riley from Auburn. And Jacob Zeno, who is only a 3-star guy now, but depth is depth. Jacob Zeno is quarterback at UAB. He'll be a reliable backup for Marcel Reed if he were to go down. And we don't wish that to happen, but just saying. So that's A&M's guys. Next up, we got Tennessee with 25 guys coming out of high school. I'm not going to cover the total for this. 25 guys from high school. Had an overall rank of 11, and they were 68th in the portal. It doesn't say anything about this 5-star guy because he's a tackle, but David Sanders Jr. is coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina. He was the number 1 guy in the state and number 3 guy in the tackle position. Defensive lineman Isaiah Campbell. Okay, I had to double check because I was seeing a lot of North Carolina. This is Tennessee, but apparently North Carolina has some depth within their cities because there's a lot of guys from North Carolina on here. Well, not necessarily on here, but as I was doing this, I noticed a lot out of 50 teams. We're not going to do all 50. I'm probably just going to do 25, and then the rest is the rest. Got to save some energy and time for some coaches that I'll probably do tomorrow morning. So with that, like I said, Isaiah Campbell is a 4-star defensive lineman from Durham, 2nd in North Carolina, and 6th in that defensive lineman position. From Derby, Kansas, they got a 4-star tight end, Desan Brown, who was 3rd in the state of Texas and 5th in the tight end position. 4-star defensive lineman, Marion Dye, from Elkhart, Indiana. I hope I'm saying that right because Maybe I'm trying to say Eckert, and I think there is an Eckert somewhere in the state of somewhere, but I think and hope it's Elkhart, Indiana. They got a 4-star defensive lineman, Marion Dye, who was 12th in that DL position and second in the state of Indiana. Travis Smith Jr. is a 4-star wide receiver from Georgia. Nick Moore is a 4-star interior offensive lineman from Tennessee, 4th in the state. I said DL, I think. Nick Moore is a 4-star interior offensive lineman from Tennessee, and he's 4th in the state of Tennessee. Defensive lineman, 4-star defensive lineman Ethan Utley from Nashville, 5th in the state of Tennessee. 4-star linebacker Christian Gass is from Covington, Georgia. 4-star wide receiver Rodarius Jackson was 8th in the state of Tennessee. George McIntyre is a 4-star quarterback from Brentwood, Tennessee, number 9 player in the state. 4-star edge from Somerville, New Jersey, Jaden Lofton, 7th in the state of New Jersey. 4-star linebacker Jaden Perlott. It's either Perlott or Pelote. Regardless, he's from Beaufort, Georgia. We got 4-star linebacker Jaden Harmon from Rome, Georgia. 4-star tight end Jack Van Dorseller. I want to say it fast, but I don't know. Anyways, he's a 4-star guy from Southlake, Texas. 47th in the state of Texas, 17th in the tight end position. 4-star cornerback Trey Petit from Verona, Wisconsin. Number 3 guy in the state of Wisconsin. And then they have wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, tackles, cornerbacks, linebackers, safeties. A bunch of 3-star guys coming in to give them depth on both sides of the ball. That'll be good. And Tennessee, for those that don't know, lost their guy. Nico Iamaleava is now at UCLA, which is funny because the guy that's going to be the starter transferred in from UCLA, and that's Joey Aguilar, who had previously played at App State, if I'm not mistaken, before going to UCLA. From Notre Dame, 4-star interior offensive lineman Sam Pendleton. They got a 3-star wide receiver Amari Jefferson from Alabama. And there's also Wendell Moe Jr. from Arizona. He's only 3-star, but he's an offensive lineman. That'll give him a little depth at Tennessee, especially with a quarterback that hadn't never played in SEC environments, in quotations. So that's Tennessee done. The next team is Notre Dame with 32 overall commits, 24 from high school. With that, they have a 5-star listed. So he's going to be one of the highly rated 4-star guys. I'm not going to try to guess it. From high school, they signed 12 4-star guys, and they got based on how I interpret it, there's 16 total. They signed 12. So unless it's one of those expectation type things, that should be covered. And so for Notre Dame, who was 58th in the portal, 12th overall, 24 guys from high school. We got 4-star tackle from Connecticut, who was number 1 in the state and number 9 in that offensive tackle position. Will Black. 4-star edge, Christopher Burgess Jr. from Chicago. 11th in the edge position, 3rd in the state of Illinois. 4-star linebacker Madden Faramo from San Juan, something, California. 4th in his position, linebacker, and 6th in the state of Cali. 4-star tight end from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Anyways, James Flanagan, 7th in the tight end position, number 1 in Wisconsin. Jadon Blair is a 4-star safety from Winston-Salem, 13th in the safety position, the 6th overall guy in the state of North Carolina. Then we have a 4-star cornerback, Dallas Golden, from Tampa, 18th in the state of Florida, 7 in his position overall. We got 4-star cornerback Mark Zachary, the 4th from Indianapolis, Indy, 4th in the state of Indiana. 4-star wide receiver from Greenville, Georgia, Scrap Richardson, 14th in the wide receiver position, 30th in the state of Georgia. We got a 4-star athlete, meaning he's a two-way player more than likely. That's almost always what it means. And not Fort Wayne, but Wayne, New Jersey. Fort Wayne is in Indiana. Wayne, New Jersey, Nolan James Jr., who was 12th in that dual position as an athlete and number 4 in the state of New Jersey. Then we have Elijah Burris. This is Notre Dame, so this is good. Like, this is where they want to be at, kind of, sort of, is right there in the market. New Jersey's not that far from Notre Dame. They're in Indiana, aren't they? I think so. I don't have a clue. Like, some of these teams, New England Patriots, couldn't tell you where they're at. Don't have a clue. They've always kind of been a rival of my Panthers, so I don't keep up with them. Anyways, 4-star wide receiver Elijah Burris from Wayne, New Jersey, was 28th in the wide receiver position and 5th in the state of New Jersey. Cam Herron is an offensive lineman, a 4-star offensive lineman from Indianapolis, 15th in the offensive lineman position, interior offensive lineman position, and 5th in the state of Indiana. 4-star offensive tackle is coming in from Waukesha. That's probably what it is. Waukesha, Wisconsin. I could definitely see that being a name in Wisconsin. 4-star offensive tackle Owen Strebig, who was the number 2 guy in the state. They added a 3-star quarterback, Blake Herbert from Connecticut. Quite a few offensive and defensive guys from high school at the 3-star rating. They added Noah Burnett, who's kicker from North Carolina. He was a starting kicker last year, as far as I know. I mean, every game I watched North Carolina wise, I'm pretty sure I was watching Noah Burnett. Anyways, that's good for them. That's points on the board. I'm not sure how solid their kicker is now. I think they've had a few issues with kickers over the last few years, so it's good to have a little depth. Bunch 3-star guys. And then we got a 4-star wide receiver, Malachi Fields from Virginia, and 4-star safety from Alabama, Devontae Smith. And that's Notre Dame. Number 13 is Miami. 25 4-star. It doesn't matter. 13th overall, 3 in the portal. So they don't have their 5-star edge listed, but he supposedly is a 5-star. Hayden Lowe is from Westlake Village, California. Number 2 in that position, number 2 in the state of Cali. Gerard Pringle Jr. is a 4-star running back from Florida. Interior offensive lineman from Las Vegas, Nevada. These Hawaiian names will get you. See, it could be Say, or it could be Susu, or Susu. I don't have a clue. Susu. But he is coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's the number 4 guy from Las Vegas, or from Nevada. 4-star tight end, Brock Schott from Leo, Indiana. 10th tight end in the net. 10th tight end in the nation, and number 3 guy from Indiana. 4-star wide receiver Joshua Moore from Pembroke Pines, Florida. I know I didn't put an R in that. I apologize. I'm not going back. Like I said, 4-star wide receiver Joshua Moore from Florida. 22 position, 21 in the state of Florida. 4-star edge Herbert Scroggins III from Savannah, GA. Safety Bryce Fitzgerald from Miami. 4-star quarterback from Alpharetta, Georgia. He's going to probably be a stud at some point. Luke Nickel. Although he was only the 16th quarterback in that rating in the nation, and number 35 guy, which is a big deal. 35 guy in the state overall is a big deal. But again, from Georgia. 4-star linebacker Kellen Wiley Jr. is from Florida. This is Miami, so especially the guys that are from Miami, Florida, that's in their backyard. That's good to have the talent pool right there at hand. Like I said, Kellen Wiley Jr. is a 4-star linebacker from Florida. Amari Wallace is a 4-star cornerback from Miami. We got New Iberia, Louisiana, Jabari Antoine, 4-star cornerback, 12th in the state of Louisiana. And then a 4-star cornerback, a 4-star tight end, 13th in the state of Ohio, Luca Gilbert. And we got some 3-star wide receivers, some offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Pretty good, pretty solid. And then from BYU, 4-star wide receiver Keelan Marion. Miami starting quarterback is going to be the alien, Carson Beck from Georgia. They got a 4-star cornerback from Wisconsin, Xavier Lucas. I think I read something on this Jack Nickel guy from UAB. He's a tight end. They're thinking he's going to be a star. Washington State's 4-star cornerback transferred in, Ethan O'Connor. James Brockmeyer from TCU is an offensive lineman. He was pretty solid last year for whoever that quarterback was that transferred from Ohio, or was it Kansas State? It was one of the states. It was either Ohio or Kansas State, I think. Kansas State had Will Rogers. They got from Arizona 4-star cornerback Emmanuel Cornley. Louisiana Tech to Miami, David Blade Jr., defensive lineman. From Michigan State to Miami, 4-star cornerback Charles Brantley. From Jacksonville State to Miami, we got 4-star safety Zechariah Poyser. And then wide receiver from LSU, CJ Daniels. Missouri was the number 14th overall. 7 in the portal. From high school, they signed a 4-star wide receiver from Florida, 9th in the state, Donovan Alugbode. 4-star edge, Javian Hilson from Cocoa, Florida, 8th in his position, 10th in the state of Florida. 4-star quarterback, Matt Zollers, is from Royersford. I could get it right, but I'm not going to. Pennsylvania. 9th in the QB position, 2nd in the state of Pennsylvania. 4-star tackle, Jack Lang. Eureka, Montana. That's not what that is it? I'm going to go out on a limb, and MO is Missouri. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, that's a toss-up there. Anyways, from Eureka, whatever state that is. Let's see. Let's click on this guy. I got to know. This is Missouri. He visited a bunch of southern schools, so this is MO is Missouri, without a doubt. Other than that 1%. So from Eureka, Missouri, we got Jack Lang, who was number 1 in the state of Missouri's 4-star tackle. 4-star edge from Herman, Missouri, Dayton Hopkins, number 2 guy in the state. 4-star wide receiver from Ironton, Ohio, Sean Terry III, or the second, Sean Terry II, number 8 guy out of Ohio. 4-star wide receiver Damian Folks was the number 8 guy out of Maryland. 4-star offensive tackle Henry Fanuku from Fort Worth, Texas. 4-star running back Marquise Davis from Cleveland, Ohio, 11th guy in the state of Ohio. From Coffeyville, Kansas, we got an interior offensive line who was the number 6 guy in the state. And then we've got a running back, a tight end, cornerback, linebacker, DL, 2-star guy, athlete, linebacker. These are 3-star guys, adding depth. That's good. From the portal, we got Jalen Early, offensive tackle from Florida State. Got tight end Gavin Hoffman from Iowa. 5-star edge Damon Wilson II from Georgia. That's a big gain. Some 3-star guys on here. Bo Pribula is expected to be the starter for Missouri. So he's coming in from Penn State. They got an edge from App State, Nate Johnson. Offensive lineman from Michigan, Dominic Guidance. 4-star linebacker from Nebraska, Makai Bayer. And then from Mississippi State, Kevin Coleman Jr. There's their 2 5-star guys. Except for one of them isn't, because they only have 1 listed. So at Number 15, we got USC coming in. 28 commits from high school. They were number 17 in the portal. A lot of this hinges on how fast my phone works, by the way. All right, so 5-star quarterback Hassan Longstreet. I don't know that that's his name. I am sorry for y'all USC if I'm slaughtering his name. 5-star quarterback Longstreet coming in from Corona, California. 4th in the quarterback position, 3rd in the state of California. Jakeem Stewart is a 4-star linebacker or defensive lineman coming in from New Orleans. Number 2 guy in the state of New Orleans. 4-star tackle Alex Payne is coming from Gainesville, Georgia. Number 17th tackle nationally and number 16th guy in the state of Georgia. We got Matai Tagoai. Matai Tagoa. I still don't think that's right. Regardless, Matai is coming in from San Clemente. That's not right either. Jesus. San Clement. That's not how I've heard it pronounced. I'm just slaughtering it. Anyways, it's California. He's 4-star linebacker. 4-star tackle coming in from Utah, Aaron Dunn. Number 2 guy in Utah. 4-star cornerback Tristan Castro is coming in from California. Number 25 cornerback. Number 19th in the state. 4-star safety from Detroit, Michigan, Alex Graham, 3rd guy in the state of Michigan. Yeah. 4-star receiver from Maryland, Romario Eisen, is the 9th guy from Maryland. Cornerback R.J. Sermons from Rancho Cucamonga. Okay. That's where the Young Bucks are from. If you get it, you get it. Anyways, we got R.J. Sermons coming in from Rancho Cucamonga. 28 cornerback in the position. And 25th guy in the state of Cali. We got Tanook Hines is from Houston, Texas, is a 4-star wide receiver. Then some depth at wide receiver, DL positions, tight end, running backs, linemen, offensive and defensive. Solid. 16 transfers. Of those, there's a Kevin Longstreet transferring in from A&M. I don't know if he's any relation to the quarterback. Regardless, he's a safety, so it's not going to matter much. But I like it when siblings play together. I think it's pretty cool. Like this coming year, South Carolina is going to have Lenore Sellers and his little brother. That ought to be a pretty cool connection. And then Arkansas, or from Arkansas to it was A&M, I think. You got those 2 brothers coming in from Arkansas, the Metcalf brothers. That'll be interesting to watch. So from Syracuse to USC, we got Jerome. John Ray Reed. John Ray Reed. That's what I'm going with. He's an offensive lineman coming in from Syracuse. USC has their guy that was there last year, as far as quarterback goes, but they added a little depth with Sam Hurd coming in from Utah. They got another offensive guy coming in from Purdue, DJ Wingfield. 4-star defensive lineman Jamal Jarrett is transferring in from Georgia. 4-star defensive lineman from Kentucky, Keyshawn Silver. And then they also got a cornerback from San Jose State, or San Jose. You don't have to say the state necessarily. Got DJ Harvey coming in. They added a little depth at running back with New Mexico coming in. Not New Mexico. His name was something Sanders, but regardless, we're moving on. Ole Miss, number 16th team in the country, 4th in the transfer. Not 16th ranked team in the country. They were 16th composite overall ranking from 24/7 Sports in recruiting. 4-star wide receiver from Ackerman, Mississippi. Right off the bat, Mississippi guys. That is awesome. Number 1 guy in the state, 4-star wide receiver, Caleb Cunningham from Ackerman, Mississippi. From Tupelo, Mississippi, we got the number 7 guy in the state, a 4-star cornerback, Mason Dunn. Then we got from Shreveport, Louisiana, number 7th interior offensive lineman in the nation, Devin Harper, and number 3 in the state of Louisiana. Shakai Mills-Knight is a 4-star running back from Chattanooga, Tennessee, number 6 running back in the nation at that position. And the number 2 guy in the state of Tennessee. From Venice, Florida, we got 4-star wide receiver Winston Watkins, 4-star defensive lineman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi is Andrew Maddox, who is the 29th guy in that DL position and number 10 in the state. From Lexington, Mississippi, 4-star cornerback, number 11 guy in the state, Cortez Thomas. 4-star safety, Ladarian Clarity from Pensacola, Florida. 23rd guy at that safety position in the nation, and the number 31st guy overall in the state of Florida. They also added a little depth on both sides of the ball. I'm seeing a lot of wide receivers, linebackers, DLs, cornerbacks. There was a tight end. There was a running back. That's good. Added a couple quarterbacks. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name, but they added some 3-star quarterbacks from Rice and Oklahoma State. We got Tavoy Fegan from Clemson is a 3-star cornerback who was a 4-star coming out of high school, so potential is there. Another 3-star quarterback, I never did look in to see who may or may not be their starter come week 1. They got a lot of guys coming in. It's Caleb Odom, and then those guys that I cannot pronounce their names. Caleb Odom was Ty Simpson's backup was 3rd-string guy last year at Alabama. That's who I was thinking of. He more than likely will have a shot at the starting position if he isn't already the starter, or if they already have somebody in place ahead of him. Because Jackson Arnold is gone. Not Jackson Arnold. Jackson Dart is gone. 4-star wide receiver coming in from Penn State, Harrison Wallace III. Got 4-star wide receiver from West Virginia, Traylon Ray. Deuce Alexander, who was a stud at Wake Forest last year at that wide receiver position. Delano Townsend, 4-star guy coming from ULB. He's a lineman, offensive lineman. Another offensive lineman from Arkansas is Patrick Kutas or Katas. Somewhere in between, possibly. Anyways, Dejon Stribling, whatever. Oklahoma State wide receiver. From Nebraska, we got a 4-star edge coming in, Prince Will, and that's as far as I'm going with that name. We got Luke Haas coming in from Arkansas. He's a tight end. We got Jalen Braxton coming in from Arkansas. He's a cornerback. And from LSU to Ole Miss, we got Deshaun Womack. Next up is Oklahoma on the list. Oh, my goodness. Number 12 in the portal, 17th overall. Yeah, they do have a 5-star guy on their composite. It's probably not this tackle, but they got offensive tackle from Louisville. I'm sure it's Louisville and not Louisville in Texas. I would think so. Louisville, Texas, Michael Fasusi. I don't have a clue. Apologize to you and your family for slaughtering your name, bud. Number 1 tackle in the nation and number 4 in the state of Texas. So he may or may not actually be their 5-star guy. 24/7's composite 5-star guy. Anyways, moving on to tackle, 4-star tackle from Cypress, Texas. So Oklahoma is stealing from their rival. That's good. That'll heat it up real quickly, especially now being in the SEC. Man. I mean, it was there last year. I don't think I caught it. What did happen last year? I think one of them blew the other one out or something. I don't know. It's had its fair shares of close and far. So offensive tackle. This ain't getting any easier. Ryan Fuji from Texas. He's a tackle. 4-star cornerback from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Number 1 guy in the state, Tristan Haynes. 4-star wide receiver from Oklahoma, Elijah Thomas. Number 5 guy in the position, number 2 guy in the state. 4-star edge from Weatherford, Oklahoma, CJ Nicholson. 3rd guy in the state. Got 4-star running back, Torrey Blaylock, coming in from Humble, Texas. From Spring, Texas, 4-star cornerback Cortland Guillory. And then some 3-star depth at various positions. Jaden Ott from Cal. He was expected to be a star at Cal. I don't think that he got to start. I think maybe they had some guys in front of him. I don't get to watch a lot of West Coast football. They come on so late compared for us. You know, I try to watch all the football I can, but I mean, I love the sport. But Jay Knott's coming in from Cal. John Mateer, who is their starting quarterback, coming in from Washington State. 3-star tight end from LA Tech, John Locke. Got Cole Gonzalez from Western Carolina, who is a 3-star quarterback. 4-star linebacker, Kendall Daniels from Oklahoma State. 4-star edge, Marvin Jones Jr. He's going to be tearing people up. He's bad, man. He is probably one of those that has lost faith in Mike Norvell, so that explains why he would leave. Norvell made a lot of changes last year to kind of save his job. I hope he succeeds at Florida State. We're talking about Oklahoma, but this guy's coming from FSU and was a star at Florida State, Marvin Jones Jr. Isaiah Sategna. I've heard the name. He's coming in from Arkansas, he's a wide receiver. And then that's pretty much it, other than some depth guys that are 3 stars. So going to Florida State, 18th overall, 6th in the portal. 4-star defensive lineman from Greensboro, Georgia, 9th guy at that DL position, and 11th guy in the state of Georgia. From Leesburg, Georgia, we have a 4-star running back who I'm not pronouncing the name. He was the number 3 guy at the position. Chroma is his last name. Number 3 guy in the position, number 13 guy in the state of Georgia. LA Jesse Harold is a 4-star edge coming in from Tampa. 16th guy in the edge position, 16th guy in the state of Florida. 4-star cornerback Zay Thomas is coming in from Fort Lauderdale. 19th guy in the state. Interior offensive lineman Marlon Nash Jr. from DeKalb, Mississippi. Or is it DeKalb? It might be DeKalb. I feel like I've heard that a couple times. Here in South Carolina, we don't get a lot of DeKalbs or DeKalbs, Mississippis. It's just something we don't hear a lot. Anyways, he's the number 9 guy in the state of Mississippi. 4-star offensive tackle coming in from Warner Robins, Chastain Brown. And then 3-star wide receiver, 3-star tight end, 3-star edge, 3-star tight end, edge, linebacker, cornerback, DL, quarterback, Kevin Sperry from Denton, Texas. 3-star guy, but who knows? There's some depth behind. We're about to get to that. Some depth behind their starting quarterback. They had 23 transfers coming in. Got Gavin Blackwell as a wide receiver from North Carolina. Jarvis Boatwright Jr. from USC is a safety. Josh Raymond is a tackle from Vanderbilt. Another tackle from Rutgers. Jalen Matthews from Eastern Michigan. I don't think that's who that is. East Tennessee State. We got Jalen King coming in at the quarterback position to add a little depth. Cornerback from Houston, Jeremiah Wilson. Wide receiver from Tennessee. Don't be throwing them squirrels because now he's at FSU. Jason Jenkins from Tennessee is a 4-star defensive lineman. Another 4-star defensive lineman from the Chanticleers, DeMonte Diggs. Luke Pettibon from Wake Forest is another offensive lineman. Tackle from Ole Miss, Micah Pettis. We got one of the top guys from USC last year, wide receiver Deuce Robinson, coming into Florida State. James Williams is a 4-star edge coming in from Nebraska. And they have named their starting quarterback, and it is Tommy Castellanos from Boston College coming into Florida State, and he's going to be their starter this year. But like I said, they added a couple guys from high school. They added a couple guys from the portal to have some depth behind him. That'll be good. And next up, we have – oh, wow, we're at number 19. That's good. We're going to stop at 25. I'm not going to 50. We're going to cover 25. So we won't get to UCLA or Clemson or UNC. UCLA, their starting quarterback this coming year will be Nico Iamaleava. And just a little information, his brother, Madden, is also at UCLA. He had originally planned on going. Then he chose to go to Arkansas. He was on campus for a week or something like that, and then left and went to UCLA. No, he spent the whole spring at Arkansas, and then decided he was going to go be his brother's backup. I mean, that was the same thing with the Tua and Talia thing at Alabama. I've never understood that. I mean, I thought it was cool to see brothers together, but they're on the same side of the ball. They're not going to get to play at the same time. It's just not realistic unless it's different positions. And that ultimately, Talia wound up going to Maryland and did all right. He didn't make it to the draft or anything, but as far as I know. But anyways, going to the 19th team overall, Penn State, with 28 guys signed from high school. Let's back out of this. They were number 20, number 41 in the portal. Five-star offensive lineman, therefore classified as four-star. Malachi Goodman from Paramus, New Jersey. Number 5 offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman in the nation, and the number 1 guy in the state of Georgia. Four-star tight end. What is this? Pennsylvania? Okay, that's good. Penn State recruiting from at home. That's good. Andrew Olish is from Center Valley, PA, Pennsylvania. Number 1 guy in the nation. Number 3 guy at that tight end position. Darius Dixon from Santa Ana, California, or Santa Ta'ana'a. Little Jeff Dunham comedy for anybody that knows that. And I know it's shaking. I'm shaking. I'm sorry. Which is probably why I shouldn't do this, but Santa Ta'ana'a. Darius Dixon. Yep. 4-star cornerback. Number 7 guy in the state of Cali. LeVar Arrington II from Covina, California, is a 4-star linebacker, number 10 guy in that linebacker position, and 11th guy in the state of Cali. Yvonne Kamaji, that's as close as I'm going to get. 4-star defensive lineman from Maryland, number 5 guy from the state. 4-star wide receiver Matt Alton is from Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm going to say it fast. I know that's got to be how it's said. He's the number 4 guy coming from the state of Virginia. 4-star tight end from Owings Mills, Maryland, Jeff Exner Jr. Number 7 guy out of Maryland and number 11 guy at that tight end position. 4-star offensive tackle from Avon, Connecticut, Owen Alcine, or Alcine. I'm going to say it's Alcine, and the I is just skipped, the first I. I'm going to say Owen Alcine. He's the number 2 guy out of Connecticut. 4-star linebacker from Philadelphia, PA, Cam Smith, number 24 guy at the linebacker position, and 7th in the state of PA. Chaz Coleman is a 4-star edge from Ohio. 27th guy at the edge position, number 10th guy in Ohio. Daniel Jennings is a 4-star edge from Princeton, West Virginia. Number 1 guy in West Virginia. Then we got 4-star cornerback Jameer Joseph from New Jersey, number 6 guy from New Jersey. 4-star linebacker Deshaun Burnett from Pittsburgh, PA. So they're in their backyard. That's a good thing. And actually, it's not. That's like probably 4 or 5 hours from each other, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, it's in PA. That's good. In Pennsylvania is a good thing. 4-star cornerback Xavier Thomas from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We just covered him. Number 41 guy at that cornerback position, and number 11 in the state of Pennsylvania. A 3-star edge, 3-star tight end, 3-star linebacker, cornerback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. There's a quarterback, Beckham Kritza, I don't know, something like that. Linebacker Amari Campbell is transferring in from North Carolina. Trevor from Syracuse, Trevor with a B, or it might be Trevor. I don't have a clue. But Pena is a wide receiver from Syracuse. King Max coming in from Alabama. He's a safety. TJ Shanahan from A&M is a lineman, offensive lineman. I'm not sure if he's kin to Mike or not, or Kyle Shanahan. Could be an interesting thing to look up. I forgot to look it up. From Troy, 4-star wide receiver Devontae Ross. From A&M, Anai White. And from USC, Kyron Hudson is a wide receiver. That's Penn State done. Next up is Nebraska. Number 20 overall. This is the overall. If you get on this page, you have to click a drop-down menu. If not, it's not going to be in the order. When you hear it be talked about, it's going to be in this order depending on who the source is. So, again, Nebraska, 20 overall, 13th in the portal. 4-star linebacker Dawson Merritt from Stillwell, Texas. That is not Texas. That is Kansas. And it doesn't have a second L in it. So, I don't know. Is that still Stillwell? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to say Stillwell, Kansas. Number 7 linebacker at that position. And number 5 in the state of Kansas, 4-star wide receiver Cortez Mills Jr. from Homestead, Florida. Malcolm Simpson is a 4-star defensive lineman from Hitchcock, Texas. From Omaha, Nebraska. That's Peyton Manning's favorite word. Christian Jones, 4-star linebacker, number 1 guy in the state of Nebraska. Might have us another one of those y'all NFL fans help me out, but the guy from Philadelphia that I think he won the MVP for the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think we might have another one of those guys. Next up is a 4-star tackle from Winter, South Dakota. Sean Hammerbeck. Sean Hammerbeck is the number 1 guy from South Dakota. Wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver Jeremiah Jones from Kentucky. Number 5 guy in the state of Kentucky. And then there's Isaiah Mosey is a wide receiver. He's a 3-star guy from Missouri. TJ Lateef is a quarterback from California. These 3-star guys, but depth never hurt. They'll have Dylan Raiola returning this season, so I don't know where your Heisman odds are, but it's probably worth buying a little stock in the Dylan Raiola. From Notre Dame, we got a 4-star offensive lineman, Rocco Spentler. From Alabama, an offensive tackle, Elisha Pritchett. I know I'm cracking. I'm sorry. Pritchett was a big name for Alabama when he came in. I don't know if he did see play time for sure or not last year or however long he's been there. I know that I've heard his name. Hardly Gilmore IV is a wide receiver coming in from Kentucky. We got another wide receiver who is a 4-star, Dane Key, coming in from Kentucky. 4-star linebacker coming in from Oklahoma, Deshaun McCullough. Safety Justin Rhett is coming in from Georgia. Marcos Davila, I probably slaughtered that name, but he's a quarterback coming in from Purdue. Be a little depth behind Raiola. That'll be good. 4-star wide receiver, Nasir Hunter. Oh, my God. Isaiah Hunter from Cal. And then 4-star defensive lineman from Missouri, Williams Inwinari. That's it. I know that's right. Williams Inwinari from Missouri, transferred in from Nebraska. Defensive lineman. 5-star coming out of high school, 4-star now. But he's still got the potential to become 5-star again. A lot of that depends on play time and progression. So from Nebraska, we're moving on to Texas Tech. And Texas Tech. #21st overall rank. Number 2 in the portal. From Texas, Stephenville, Texas, we got 4-star wide receiver Tristan Gentry. From Rapid City, South Dakota, Elias Gillian, who is a 3-star interior offensive lineman. Number 3 guy in the state of South Dakota. And that's as far as I'm going into those 3-star guys. We're going to go down to this portal where they had 21 guys. Micah Hudson from A&M's wide receiver. David Bailey is an edge coming in from Stanford. Cornerback from Mississippi State, Bryce Pollock. Howard Sampson is a tackle from North Carolina. Quentin Joyner from USC is a running back. Pretty sure he was a heavy name last year. From Georgia Tech, we got an edge, Romello Height. From UCF, 4-star defensive lineman Lee Hunter. A little depth at the quarterback position. I'm not sure who their starter is, but regardless, we got Mitch Griffiths coming in from Wake. Amir Boyd is a cornerback coming in from UTEP. From Lafayette, we got tight end Terrence Carter Jr. Will Jados is a 4-star offensive tackle coming in from Maryland to Texas Tech. Reggie Virgil is coming in from Maryland to Texas Tech, and he is a wide receiver. Got a North Dakota State guy. He's a safety, 4-star safety, Cole. I can't say for sure. This is the guy that I've heard the name of, but I've heard this last name. And it's, oh my goodness. Wisniewski. Anyways. One of those either Polish or Jewish last names. Excuse me if I got that wrong. I'm sorry. I believe in the same stuff essentially. Hunter Zambrano is coming in from Illinois State, and he's a 4-star interior offensive lineman coming into Texas Tech. Moving on, number 22 overall is South Carolina. Marvina. Are you good, Marvina? Oh, that's getting hot. Put that in the fridge, please. I'm not mean, I promise. I try not to be. I get beat, though, so there's bruises everywhere. I'm just kidding. I do run laps after about 3 or 4 of these. 22 ranked signing day and portal class is South Carolina. Well, not portal, but anyways, number 22 overall, South Carolina. There's a sandstorm coming next Sunday. You can bank on it. So they had 27 kids come from high school. Like I said, 22nd overall, 15th in the portal. From Havelock, North Carolina, we got Donovan Darden, is a 4-star linebacker, number 4 guy in the state. From Rock Hill, we know how we love them Rock Hill people at South Kakalaki. 4-star wide receiver, Malik Clark, number 15th guy at the position, is incredible. And number 2 guy in the state, we got a lot of good schools, even local to here. I mean, Greenwood sometimes produces talent. Saluda, Abbeville. You got your down towards Conway teams. No. There's something Hills. There's Dutch Fort. That's closer to Columbia, I believe. A lot of good ones. Burns. We got some talent. Speaking of talent, from Columbia, South Carolina, Donovan Murph is a 4-star wide receiver, number 19th guy at the receiver position and 3rd in the state. Shedrick Surratt from Gaffney, South Carolina. Told you we got some talent. I said Burns. That's pretty close. If you live here, you know. Offensive tackle, Shedrick Surratt. I'm not sure if that's spelled the same way. And for those that know, you know. There was a set of Surratt brothers that came from North Carolina. One of them wound up at North Carolina. I think both of them played at North Carolina to begin with, and then one of them left and went to App State or Georgia Tech or some school with gold that was up in that area. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they could be kin, possibly. South Carolina, North Carolina, right there together. But I'm going to say possibly, not likely. Anyways, number 5 tackle in the state of South Carolina. 4-star safety, Kendall Daniels Jr. from Norfolk, Virginia. Number 5 guy in the state. 4-star wide receiver, Brian Rowe Jr., Concord, North Carolina. Number 8 guy in the state. 4-star wide receiver, Lex Cyrus. I hope he's a star. That name is just awesome. Man, I hope he becomes a star. Harrisburg, PA. We one time had a running back from Harrisburg, PA. And he was the oldest guy on our team. I think he was 27 years old. He came from, I don't know that he was in the military, but his family, I don't know. It was something military related, and that's why he was a little older. And they do allow you to do that from time to time. But he was a running back. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, tell me, because he was solid. Had one of them heavy northern Philly accents. He was pretty cool. Anyways, Lex Cyrus is a 4-star receiver from Pennsylvania, number 6 guy in the state. Demola is as far as we're going to get with that name, from Duluth, Georgia, is a 4-star tackle. Xavier Hardy from Scuba, Mississippi, 4-star defensive. You stop that. Scuba Steve. I need Scuba Steve. All right. And he went to one of those 2-year schools, is what CC is, if I'm not mistaken. It was East Mississippi CC. Xavier Hardy. Wow. Number 1 defensive lineman in the nation. Number 1 nationally. Number 1 position. Number 1 state, Mississippi. and I could have this all wrong. I looked into it one time before. Anyways, the rest of these guys from high school are 3-star guys. Although one of these 3-star guys just so happens to be wide receiver Jaden Sellers. Little bro is on campus. We also got Cutter Woods, who played at Westside, and that is about an hour and 15-minute drive from us in Anderson. Cutter Woods is a quarterback coming in from Anderson, number 21 guy in the state. Some depth behind Sellers is great. Although I've heard Luke Doty is going to be the number 2 quarterback this coming year. I still foresee him being that option guy. I guarantee you he'll be tight end 2 or 3. I don't know who our number 1 tight end is going to be, but I couldn't foresee them putting that much of a workload on a guy and take a chance of 2 quarterbacks going down, if y'all catch my drift. But anyways, I'm hearing Luke Doty's number 2. Maybe this Cutter guy is number – no. We're about to get into that. All right, so Isaiah Augustov from Colorado is a 3-star running back coming in, but we need some depth. We've been needing some depth. Unfortunately for South Carolina, the SEC, at least our portion of who we play, most of them are very good at run D. We have a running back that's pretty solid, but he hasn't been a Kevin Harris or somebody of that nature. It isn't Kevin Harris, is it? He's gone, right? Yeah. Anyways, we don't have a Kevin Harris or Rico Dowdle or AJ Turner. There isn't. That was somewhere else on the list. But anyways, we got a running back coming in from Colorado. That's good to add depth if we can have success at the running back position. It's got nothing to do. I don't think it has as much to do with talent as it does game planning against opponents, not trying to take digs at Beamer or the coordinators or anything, but it is what it is. We got an edge coming in from Camel. No, I'm just kidding. George Wilson is an edge coming in from – it's not Camel, it's Campbell. Somebody started laughing. From Campbell, George Wilson is an edge coming in. We've had success going to the FCS in the past. Jalen Brooks wound up being our second or third guy wide receiver wise at one time. He was from down under, down there in the FCS, so it's not always a bad thing. All right, so 4-star cornerback Braden Sice is coming in from North Carolina State. Justin, oh my goodness, somebody help me, Arochnaro or whatever, his brother Ogbo Arochnaro, or however you pronounce it, plays in the NFL. And Justin is transferring in from Alabama. Interior offensive lineman from Western Kentucky, Rodney Newsom Jr. We got our backup for Lenora Sellers, other than Luke Doty, and his name is Aaron Nolan from Ohio State. Linebacker from Florida State, Sean Murphy. From A&M, defensive lineman Gabriel Brownlow Dindy. Jordan Dingle. Coming in from Kentucky, he's a tight end. And then a couple more linemen. I'm not going to cover that. I don't know. This guy's pretty highly ranked. From Missouri, Jalen Brown is a 3-star, almost a 4-star, based on how they rate him. He's almost a 4-star defensive lineman. He's made progressions from coming out of high school to now. So having some defensive depth is a good thing. We've been turning out some defensive products here and there in the draft. So any depth is good depth. Sometimes we get made to look like bamboozles. And I don't know. We got to learn how to develop. Can't just rely on offense if defense can't stop people. And our defense has been solid over the years, but I don't know. Some players try harder than others. And I know you get what you get, but there should be a one-size-fits-all mentality. Dion implemented it. Why can't other teams? Hey, I'm pushing you to be the best. If you ain't going to be the best, you need to go. That's fair enough. Anyways, I'm moving on to South Carolina, number 22. Number 23 team overall was Georgia Tech, who, by the way, has a new head coach. And we're going to do a video on that. I think I'm going to do that directly on the page. So if you count the other video, we're at like 3 hours. That's about the mark I was looking to hit. We're about to run through these last 3 teams. I'm only going to do the top 25. Not the ranked top 25, but the recruiting ranked based on 24/7. Their signing day top 25, not the top 25, even though I think Texas is the number 1 overall team and Georgia's in there somewhere, Oregon's in there somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. So, moving on to Georgia Tech, who I think Clawson resigned, stepped down. We're going to do we're going to do a coaching video probably directly on the page. This is just a lot of content. I apologize for not being on task, and not necessarily with these videos. I like to cut up and have fun because it's about the only thing that makes it bearable. And it sounds like I'm a negative Nancy. I don't like being that way, but this is on me. I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't stay on top of this ahead of time, and now this is where we're at crunch time. It makes me very, very mad at myself. But I was close to giving up on this, and I didn't. So, '23 overall is Georgia Tech. They were 32 in the portal. They have one of those 5-star tackles, which means compositely they probably don't consider them because they didn't have him listed. So that 5-star tackle is probably a 4-star. They don't like offensive tackles. They don't like offensive linemen, offensive tackles at 5-star. I don't understand that. I don't know what goes into it being that. But anyways, Josh Petty's coming in from Roswell, Georgia. Number 8 tackle at the position, offensive tackle, and number 6 guy out of Georgia. Cornerback, 4-star cornerback Tay Harris from Cedartown, Georgia. And this is Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech recruiting in the state of Georgia is phenomenal. 4-star cornerback from Cedartown, Georgia, Tay Harris, number 3 guy at the cornerback position, number 10 guy in the state. Dalen Pinson is a 4-star cornerback from Sandy Creek, that's the high school, Tyrone, Georgia. Number 1 guy at the position, number 12 guy in the state. From Bogart, Georgia, we got a 4-star defensive lineman, Christian Garrett. 4-star running back from Coolidge, Georgia, J.P. Powell. 4-star interior offensive lineman Peyton Joseph from Warner Robins, Georgia. And they loaded up, honestly. Like, here's a 3-star safety, 3-star edge, 3-star DL, safety, edge, safety, defensive lineman. I mean, and then there's a lot of also offensive tackles, interior offensive linemen, tight end, running backs. I mean, Georgia Tech did pretty doggone good with their transfers. Got wide receiver Evan Haynes coming from North Carolina, wide receiver Rakeem Smith from Bowling Green. Kilo Stone is a DL, defensive lineman coming in from Ole Miss. Malachi Corney from South Alabama is a tackle. John Mitchell, cornerback from Penn State. Andrew Rosinski is a tackle from North Carolina. A.J. Hoffler, edge from Clemson. From South Carolina, DeBron Gatlin. Kelvin Hill from UAB is a cornerback. They got a lot of 3-star guys that transferred in, and that's good for them. The next team is Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffaloes, who was number 24 overall, had 48 total commits, 15 coming from high school. They're number 19 in the portal. This guy was a big deal. I heard a lot from 2024 to now about this guy, and maybe even earlier than that. Julian Lewis, 4-star quarterback from Carrollton, Georgia, chose to go to Colorado. So Shador's gone. It shouldn't matter because they got their starter right off the rip. Next up, we got 4-star interior offensive lineman Chauncey Gooden, who's number 3 guy out of the state of Tennessee. 4-star tackle Corday Smith from Mobile, Alabama, 13th guy out of the state of Alabama. London Merritt is a 4-star edge from Bradenton, Florida. 4-star wide receiver from Texas, Adrian Wilson. 4-star wide receiver from Houston, Texas, Cornell Farrakhan Jr. And then 3-star DL, 3-star wide receiver, linebacker, safety, tight end, defensive lineman, tight end, tackle, cornerback. Deion is turning it up, man. He is, like him or not. He can. Players want to play for him. And there's argument about why that is, I'm sure. I mean, he is primetime. Neon Deion. Got running back Simeon Price coming in from Coastal Carolina. An offensive tackle from UCLA, Walker Anderson. Got 4-star cornerback from Kansas State, Noah King. Hakeem Williams, 4-star wide receiver from Florida State. Sincere Brown from Campbell is a wide receiver. Here's another offensive lineman, Zylan Chrysler from Illinois. Wide receiver Joseph Williams from Tulsa. Quarterback Caden Slater. I said Julian Lewis. Caden Slater has the experience. He's a 3 or 4 year guy now. And it's looking like Deion's going to go with experience and let Julian Lewis develop. But either way, they're going to have success, I believe. I mean, I don't foresee them being in the playoff picture, but they're going to be a darn good team. I see 7 or 8 wins. Realistically, I mean, I would, if they gave you a 6 or a 6.5, if it were me, I'd take the over personally. Then again, I'm not sure of their schedule. That's got a lot to do with it too. I think they start off against Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech's got a brand new head coach and some new guys, some new coordinators and position coaches. We'll see. Colorado also, I believe, got some new guys coming in. Makari Vickers is a cornerback from Oklahoma. Buck Buchanan is a kicker from LA Tech. And Jaheim Otis is a defensive lineman from Alabama. I mean, like I said, there's tons of other guys. And then next up, we're stopping at this team. Number 25 overall recruiting class was Kentucky. They were 10th in the transfer portal. They had 21 guys come from high school. 4-star cornerback from Enterprise, Alabama, Andrew Purcell. 4-star tight end from Greer, South Carolina, Mikael Skinner. 6th in the state. Javian Campbell from Frankfort, Kentucky is a 4-star edge. Number 2 guy from Kentucky. Number 3 guy from Kentucky is a 4-star safety, Martellus Carter Jr. 4-star in the state of Kentucky. This is Kentucky, so that's good. Very good. Number 4 guy in the state of Kentucky is a 4-star edge from Lexington, Cedric Works. 4-star safety from Cedartown, Georgia, DeMarcus Gardner. 4-star tackle from Paw, Michigan. Darren Stray, number 6 guy out of Michigan. Dyersburg, Tennessee, 4-star defensive lineman. Oh, never mind. I've already started it, though. 3-star defensive lineman, Kalen Edwards from Dyersburg, Tennessee. He was number 12 guy out of Tennessee. Number 12 guy out of New Jersey is a 3-star cornerback, Cameron Miller. St. Louis, Missouri, 3-star wide receiver, 6 guy out of Missouri, DJ Miller. Number 10 guy out of the state of Kentucky is a 3-star wide receiver, Montavian Quisenberry. They had 26 transfers. 4-star wide receiver, True Edwards from LA Tech, Louisiana Tech. Ashton Kozert from SMU is a wide receiver. Elijah Brown, tight end from UCF. Lorenzo Cohen is an edge from USC. Kendrick Law, a name that a lot of people are probably familiar with, from Alabama, 4-star wide receiver. Got Troy Stiletto, a wide receiver from Clemson. 4-star defensive lineman David Gusta from Washington State. Joshua Braun is an interior offensive lineman from Arkansas. Got a 4-star edge from Kent State, Cam Olds. Jaden Williams, defensive lineman from Wyoming. Zach Calzada is battling with Cutter Boley for the quarterback position, and he seems to have the edge. Zach Calzada was a name that during the, I think, 2024 recruiting class, there was a lot of talk about. That or he played somewhere else. I'm not sure. I know the name, though, and I know that he's a dang good quarterback. Obviously, he's looking to start for Kentucky. So Got J.J. Hester, wide receiver from Oklahoma. Sam Green is an edge from USC. And Landon Watson is a linebacker from Marshall. And that's Kentucky, and that's going to round us out. Sorry this was so long, people. I'm gonna make myself do a lot better. And again, I'm wanting to get into podcasting. That way this won't take so long. And I say get into, but I've already been into it before, and things kind of fell apart. Anchor is no longer available. I have a Samsung A15, I think. I don't know. For any of you out there that might know, I really would appreciate advice or learning something. I mean, I don't know, because this podcast thing, I've been down this for about a week and maybe a little longer, and I'm just not finding anything reliable. I put Riverside on my phone, but then I put it on my computer because this needs to be my primary. And plus, this cracked phone is hard to look at. So, Riverside was chopping a lot. It was chopping in and out, and it was just, I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I'm going to keep doing research, but I'd appreciate tips, tricks, everything. Anyways, with that, I'm going to sign off of here. Sorry for the longevity of the video, or two videos, I guess. I don't know. You ain't missed nothing if you didn't watch the first hour. So with that, I started at 6:30, about 6:32 or so. So just under 3 hours. That's good. If this happens to get posted and the rest of it is not with it, as far as Facebook goes, then the YouTube channel is where you're going to find it, because I spent like the first half of the first hour I spent on Texas, and you didn't really miss much. Them first 10 to 15 teams, man, and it's always like that. We do this every year. I'm just a lot of the times better prepared, and not compiling everything last minute within a week and a half of doing this. So I apologize for that, but I'm not going to give up on something I'm passionate about. So with that, I'm going to bid everyone adieu, and post this to YouTube and to Facebook, and y'all give me feedback and tell me how underly prepared I was. Anyways, it's Corey Brooks from Broski Ballers signing off. A video for head coaching changes is coming. It should not be nowhere near this long. So stay tuned, stay invested, be helpful if you can, because I could really use pointers, tips, advice, whatever. And like I said, we will be keeping up with the Facebook page, and our picks are going on there ASAP for week 0/1. So stay tuned. Appreciate anybody that did watch. I don't have any viewers right now, but I'm sure some people on Facebook or even on YouTube will skim through this. I don't blame you for skimming, but I appreciate you viewing anyways. Until next time, I'm going to say peace out. God bless. Stay humble. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully closer to a podcast form if it's possible. Anyways, till then, deuces.